Mentally morbid.
This podcast represents the opinions of the speakers and guests to the show. By listening to this podcast or reading any content posted or shared by the Mentally Morbid creators, you agree not to use this podcast or blog as psychological advice. The content should not be used in lieu of medical or psychological advice or any legal capacity whatsoever, including but not limited to establishing standard of care. The content here is for entertainment and educational purposes only. No guarantee is given regarding the accuracy of any statements or opinions made on the podcast or blog. Please consult healthcare professionals for any medical or psychological care.
What's up?
Right. We made it.
Are we recording? Oh, it's recording. Oh, here we go, boys and girls.
It's like she's gonna piss herself.
That was fun. That went well.
Yeah, we're gonna just try out some new software again. Hey, when you can't get it right the first time or the second time or the third time or the fourth time, or when you're on the 7th episode and you still can't get it right, you just keep trying.
I think
Like,
Don't stop. Don't give up. Don't
It's like the little
stop,
engine that could.
don't give up.
Oh,
Get a girl. Get a girl. Get a girl. Get a girl.
Are we gonna do a rave episode at some point where we all have like really brightly colored hair and crazy outlandish like that would be fun, right?
For a
I mean-
podcast?
Yeah, we'll explain our outfits.
We'll let Kinsey explain our outfit.
What are you trying to say?
You are
She
a bad
has
describer.
colors in the hair. It's not that you are a bad describer. We have just labeled you as a bad describer.
I know you just decided to give me this label.
You're
Kayla,
welcome.
Can you sing the little song again? Because I know that I noticed a lot of times when I was doing the editing, if we are talking at the same time, you can't hear what anybody's saying. So do it again so I can put it in there.
Don't stop. Don't give up. Don't stop. Don't give up.
That
We need
might
it.
be where we have to get better at split track editing. I don't know how that would work,
Split
but
track editing.
Oh.
What do we know? Nothing.
No,
So-
and I mean, editing wasn't bad. I know, I mean, considering I only did half of the editing out of order, I think it went really well. It went really well.
It went really well considering I did everything wrong.
I did not include anything I was supposed to do, so it went great. I think next time I'm going to do it drunk and see how that goes.
Oh, God.
And also, we have a lot more long pauses than you would think we do based on being present in the conversation.
perfect.
You know, it's mostly waiting for Annie's reaction. I'm usually silent because I'm usually looking at Annie because she's trying to hold her shit together and it usually doesn't work out so well.
Wait,
There
is it
were
because
several points in time where I had to clip down like several seconds where no one was saying anything.
so does that mean I have a slow processing time? Is that what you're
Yeah, you-
saying?
No,
Big
dumb.
dumb.
The word is dumb.
Big dumb.
No. Slow
Big is dumb.
processor.
Big is
Big-
dumb.
It's not a bad
Dumb.
computer. It's just not as good as the others.
Would you buy a big dumb computer?
So what you're saying is you're not the sharpest tool in the shed?
But I am a tool in the shed.
Hey
But,
now, you're an all-star. Get your game on.
right, this all ties back to Disney Pixar again. Shrek.
It all ties back to Shrek.
This is not
And
Easter eggs.
Shrek is not Disney.
Disney Pixar, I thought. No?
No, honey. No.
We are
DreamWorks.
on.
Before
He's
it's
DreamWorks.
No, we've forgotten a very key part.
The outhouse.
So
Donkey!
close. So close.
Hey, we're making waffles!
I would like to introduce us into this week's episode of Mentally Morbid. I'm Annie Scourgia.
I'm Kinsey Pochio.
I'm Kayla McFadden.
Preston.
McFadden.
She's
McFadden.
Let's see. It's Kinsey, you're going tonight, right? It's your time to tell us a story.
I hope so, because I didn't prepare anything.
Tonight, I will be telling you the story of an angry green man who lives in an outhouse with a donkey and he has to go save it.
Which just
I
not
was
at
about to
all
be so
similar
mad.
to.
No, I was about to be so pissed. I was about to be like, hey, I even wrote down my Kill Bang Mary. I even wrote it down.
Tonight, I'm going to tell you the story of Shrek.
I thought we were just going straight into your real story, and I was about to be so sad.
You came home already? Wow. Okay, but I know we got a late start. I am leaving here at 9:20 because I have to get my sushi before they close. So sorry. You're gonna have to get a move on.
No moves on. We're fine. What time did we start? 8:20? We're good.
We got time. Okay,
Yeah.
Kill Bang Mary. Go, go, go. Go, bitch, go.
Kayla, you wrote yours
Me?
down. Most
You
efficient.
bitch, yeah.
I did. Okay. I'm going to go backwards. Mary. I know that we're recording this 2 months ahead of time. So this is going to be very late for everybody. Hocus Pocus 2. Mary.
Hocus
Mary.
Pocus.
Mary.
Say
Hocus Pocus 2.
nothing about it.
I won't give you any spoilers because Annie hasn't seen it yet. I won't give you any spoilers. Mary, Hocus Pocus 2. I heard people bitching about it and saying that they ruined it, and I could not disagree more. So good. Anyway.
I have thoughts, yes, and when we get to my turn, I will share.
Say nothing about it.
Okay, so Annie, listen. In Hocus Pocus 2, there is a large green ogre, and his name is
Which still bears no resemblance to Shrek whatsoever, right?
No, it's not the movie Shrek. This is a guy I met on the street. His name is Shrek. Different
All
person.
very coincidentally not Shrek.
Yeah.
And there's a little animal who goes by the name of Donkey, and he really likes waffles.
Ironically, it's a parrot.
I know. Who knew?
Yeah. Goes by Donkey, though.
I want a donkey so bad.
Donkey the parrot. We know you want
Annie,
a
when are
donkey.
you going to get a donkey? And can
Well,
I come
after
over?
the TikTok that I saw today, it might be this week because Kevin's out of town. So now's my chance. It's either going to be paint the bathroom or get a freaking donkey. And honestly, I feel lonely, so I feel like it's going to be a donkey.
You are the woman that...
When does he come back?
Thursday. I have time.
It does seem like he should worry that there will be a new animal when he gets home.
He left his truck.
Sounds like he's going to come home to a new animal.
It sounds like he wanted to come home to a new animal, honestly. But proceed.
I'm sorry, we froze. What did you say?
Which time?
Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say he left his truck because number one, you're married, and number two, he flew.
Yes, but that's not my problem. What I hear in that is, what I heard you say was, you wanted a donkey.
Yep.
Oh, we definitely want a donkey. Team Mentally Morbid Donkey.
Perfect. It's for the business.
Branding.
Yeah, it's not even for me. It's not even a selfish decision. I didn't want the donkey. We needed the donkey. It is the mascot.
Tack right off.
Right.
Tax that off. Just like children.
Even though we are not an LLC yet.
Or copyrighted sound at all.
No.
Don't tell them they're not copyrighted.
We will be one day.
Yeah, we will be at the point of putting this out. But right now...
Yeah.
We can't even find an actual platform to record ourselves on, so one thing at a time.
Yeah, maybe this will be...
We
I'm
did
gonna
find
mark
one, they
this.
just fucked it up.
This is a good spot to edit out for the final edition. I can mark it on here.
What?
Anyway,
Why
are we editing this out?
Because we will be copyrighted in a business.
Oh,
no?
Okay. Anyway,
I'll probably edit it out, yeah.
Moving on.
Let's go.
Okay. So, Bang, I'm going to say this book that I just finished is called Name of the Wind. It was good. Would I reread it? No.
Oh, okay. That makes me really want to read it.
Okay. Why would you not reread it?
It was anticlimactic. It was basically just a really long book of a person retelling their own memoir.
Retelling, not telling. Retelling?
But it's fantasy. So it's like, it's a guy, he's sitting there and he's telling the scribe to write down all of his childhood memories. I think some shit's about to happen in the second book, but for now, Name of the Wind is just a hit it and quit it type deal.
Name of the Wind. So good, not great.
Good, not great. Kill. Ned from Try Guys cheated on his wife.
That is not a movie, a TV show, or a book.
It's a YouTube channel. Ned from Try Guys cheated on his wife, and now everybody is freaking the fuck out.
Hey.
And the Try Guys just posted a TikTok today stating that he's no longer working with them.
Hey.
Oh, he got fired?
Yeah, from his own thing.
Hey.
I literally just found out who these people were last week, so.
Somebody help me.
How?
Yeah. Fill me in.
Okay, Try Guys came from BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed was really into doing all these like new episode type dealios, and they found 4 guys on their BuzzFeed team who never did anything. And so they would just send these guys to like try things. So like they would try, I think there was like an episode of them trying lingerie and like trying different things, and they would just go do stuff. Then they like separated themselves from BuzzFeed and they created their own channel, their own like company, and now they have their own employees, and these 4 guys are the guys, and one of the guys, his main personality trait was he always included his wife, and how he was always like how his wife was the center of his world, and he always found a way to mention his wife. Go back 3 weeks ago, homeboy was caught out with one of his employees making out.
Oh, I was about to say, like, is there context? Oh man.
Yeah, apparently, like, her fiance released the photo.
Because her fiance and her had been together for 10 years.
Dang.
And homeboy I think Ned has 2 kids, 1 or 2 kids. Either way, he screwed up his marriage as far as I'm concerned, and he screwed up the Try Guys, and they just released a very straightforward video on TikTok, like pretty much confronting all of the rumors, and they were just very straightforward about what was going on, so that
they're like, yeah, it's true. They said it was true.
Yeah, it's true. Ned even posted on Twitter, I think, or Instagram, that he like admitted to it. So yeah, that's my kill.
I just can't help but like hate that for him, because number one, red flag that he included his wife all the time. Was he cheating before? Was he overcompensating for something? And then number two, I can't help but think, if you have a bunch of guys put together, there's at some point going to be guys talk on, oh, that girl is hot, encouragement to flirt with her X, Y, and Z. So then to just ditch him.
I trust that, because they all were like crying in this video, and they said that they had no idea about any of it, and that they were extremely hurt, and you could like see the hurt. And I feel like I don't feel like these particular people would lie for him, so because they're also close with his wife. So
I trust no one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who these people are. Just a thought.
Okay, well, that's my Kill Bang Mary.
That's really sad.
Yeah. Way to bring it down.
Sorry, right. Next one. Who's up next? Kill Bang Mary, go.
I'll go next. So I started a new book this last week called The House on the Hill, and I got ready this time 2 minutes before. Okay, I was ready 2 minutes before, and then I had to search up the Try Guys. It's Irina Shapiro, I think, House on the Hill. So it is a spooky, ooky book. I got it from Books A Million over the weekend. Something to read on the flight. So House on the Hill. Let's see.
Spooky.
Arena.
What is that? Your Kill Bang Mary? Your Kill?
That's
Mary?
my Mary. I haven't finished it yet, but it's my Mary. Arena Shapiro, yes. So look how spooky. Look. She's on a hill, there's a house, there's some
Wow,
water.
it's almost like that's the exact title of the
It's crazy, right? So like you can imagine there is a house on a hill in the story. It's like a winery, so it's perfect because it's got wine too. So that's always exciting. So that's my Mary. It's really good. It's a very simple read. I've been reading a lot of nonfiction. So I wanted something that was very simple, nothing that was just too I don't know, like you know how like the books a lot of books
brainless.
nowadays
You
are
want
really
something
like
brainless.
I wanted brainless but good. I didn't want a Twilight. No, not Twilight. What's the sex
Ooh,
series?
Big Hurt.
Okay, I didn't want a Twilight first of all, but that was well written. The story itself was cheesy but well written. What was the BDSM books?
Akatar?
Wow.
BDSM
BDSM. Come on. The great Red Room.
Red Room. Oh, the
Red
50
Room.
Shades of Grey.
50 Shades of Grey. Yes. So that one, I did not want that kind of writing. I wanted it better than that. So it is good writing. It's just very simple.
I've never read 50 Shades.
Neither have I, but I've read excerpts from it, and it's trash. It's terrible writing. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's a good smut, right? It's good smut, but it's bad writing. It's not. What is it? Sarah J. Maas?
Yeah, Sarah J. Maas. Yeah, no one can get her. That's how I felt about Neon Gods. It was very popular for a hot minute. It's about Persephone and Hades, and I read the whole thing, and it was basically just straight up porn with not much plot.
Right. Which can be great if that's what you're looking for. But I at least want to feel like I'm reading an adult's book while I'm reading adult content. So for this, it's a great story so far. I'm only, I don't know, maybe 6 chapters in, so maybe a quarter of the way into it. But really good, the smaller book. And I started to read Crescent City, Sarah J. Maas. I will say, I'm going to say bang. I would not marry it. I definitely want to see where it goes. Maybe a good fun buddy for now, but it's going to be a pick up and put down. Yes, it's going to be a pick up and put down as I go because it's really thick, really girthy, right?
Ooh,
right.
girthy.
Yeah.
She's girthy.
Very girthy. Kill, I don't think I have a kill this week. That's
Yes, you
all.
do.
Do I? Have I read?
Kevin's not there.
I can't kill him.
No, but you could kill the loneliness and the sadness. Oh, she's
okay,
so
you know what? I
sad.
will. Here's on my kill list. It's content. It's
Is it
media
me?
content.
Oh.
Rock music this week. I'm not feeling rock music. I'm feeling more mellow. So I've not listened to rock music all week. I turned on Shine Down and I was like, just not getting it for me. It's not getting it up. So I turned it back off, listened to my mellow folk, and on the plane there was Spotify and it was a chill and relax list. And I was like, this is perfect. Very folky. That's on my Mary list. Folk music all the time. So there's my kill. Rock music this week.
Oh.
You were
She's
literally
not
having a
okay.
nervous breakdown.
She's not okay.
She's drinking tequila instead of vodka. She's listening to mellow music instead of rock music.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh,
So that is my list.
good game.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go next. Kill, bang, Mary. Which one do I want to start with? So I think I'm gonna kill In the Dark. I don't know if you guys have watched In the Dark, but it's one of my favorite Netflix shows from the CW, I think, and it's about this blind girl who's just a terrible human being and tries to solve murders all the time or cause murders. And they released the 5th season on Netflix, and I was super, super excited. Yes.
Did you say Wine Girl? WINE?
Blind. BLIND.
Oh.
That seems more
No,
yeah.
No.
I thought you said wine girl, and I was like she grows grapes, or she drinks a lot of wine, or she whines a lot. I just need a context. None of those.
I heard whiny girl, like whine. She whines.
You guys are hearing what you want to hear.
Why is she crying? Why is she crying all the
hard
time?
of seeing female.
Yes, blind, no see. She had eyeballs. They don't work. So this is the 5th season. I was super excited because I really, really enjoyed the first 4 seasons, and then it started getting weird, so it wasn't as good. I looked it up, discontinued, no more future seasons, and then the last 2 episodes, they just ruined it. It ended on a bad note for me. I don't like how they ended it, and I feel like I didn't get the closure I needed from some of the characters, so kill.
Damn.
That's really sad.
I feel like I'm gonna do a quick, like, Saturday night bang of Dahmer. I'm still trying to finish it. It's really, it's like a hit it and quit it sort of thing. Like I'm like there, and then I'm not, and then I'm interested, and then I'm not, and I'm just like, we don't have a great relationship, but like
It's very icky.
So I googled that series because I've read this story before because I grew up with my mother talking about that kind of stuff because she's always been into serial murder stuff. Crazy, right?
of course he has.
Right. So I know the story, but I wanted to see kind of why or what everybody was saying about what was in it. So I googled the scenes, and then I saw like how it starts off, and then particular scenes that are so disturbing, and I'm just I don't understand how anybody would want to watch that at this point.
It is so icky.
It
And
sounds
like,
uncomfy.
it's very uncomfy. I finished the whole thing, but in 2 days. But I was texting my friend and I was like, I hope that Evan Peters doesn't end up like Heath Ledger, like trying
Oh, no.
to like take medicine to get the Dahmer out of his head and like ends up accidentally overdosing. That would suck. I hope he has a whole team of mental health professionals to help him get over what this role means for him.
Yeah, it's I couldn't watch it all in 2 days. It's been over a week for me. I can only watch so much at a time, and then I'm just like, I am completely grossed out, and I need to watch something else.
Evan Peters, though, is a different breed than Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger was always kind of like your pretty boy, funny guy type. Like he did like the rom-coms. Now he did a couple darker plots, but he for the most part did a lot of rom-coms and like action. But Evan Peters has been dark. Like that's been his thing, is dark.
No. He
This
wasn't
is a-
dark at the beginning. What about Phil of the Future? What about it?
This is a
I regret-
different breed of dark, though.
This is true.
There is
Different
something.
breed.
There's got to be something mentally, like cognitively, in your brain wrong with people that are built like that. Not Evan Peters, but Dahmer
Dahmer.
himself.
But also,
Like it's just like, just the idea that he ate people, like that makes me want to vomit.
well, and it started at such a young age too. That's the thing is it's not like you're talking about something that began later on after years and years of abuse. You're talking about very early indications. And that's the crazy part about it is you see the signs of the antisocial personality disorder when they're like 5, 6 to, puberty. So that you're talking about prepubescent indicators of serial killer behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would say so. So that's your bang.
Yeah, quick and easy, just a Saturday night fling. Got to get it out there.
She doesn't want to do it anymore. She's only doing it because she was peer pressured into it, and she has
I'm
FOMO
lonely.
out the ass.
Lonely and peer pressure.
I started
Everyone
The
else said it
Patient
was
for like
good.
5 minutes.
What?
I started The Patient for 5 minutes out of peer pressure.
Oh my
But
gosh,
it's
you didn't
good.
like it?
Yeah.
She didn't
Wait.
like it.
You didn't like it.
I wasn't in the right frame of mind. I'm gonna wait until Kevin comes home to watch the serious stuff. I gotta wait. I get very distracted if it's not like a lot of action. I'm telling you guys, I know my brain's not right for that kind of serious drama right now. I gotta wait until I can focus more.
I
Yeah,
love
Adderall.
that by serious drama, she's talking about a 19-minute episode of TV. Literally so long. I literally check my game on my phone while it's playing and it's over. Next thing I know, I'm like, oh, I haven't even farmed my crops yet.
It does make me sad because I haven't watched a show that only releases 30 minutes at a time since I stopped watching TV, and every Wednesday it comes out and I watch it, and then it's over, and then that's it. I can't binge anything. There's nothing to binge. It's just 20 minutes.
Yes,
all
I
done.
had the exact same thing with Only Murders in the Building as I do with this. It's Hulu, and they have me by their grips, and I will watch weekly as soon as it's released, and I will wait until the next one comes out.
I'm glad they're going back to that, though. I miss the days where they release it weekly.
I feel like I'm being restrained.
They definitely make you want more. So, and then My Mary, Hocus Pocus 2. I agree with Kayla. 10 stars, excellent. I almost made that my bang because I had a lady boner all day waiting to watch it when I was at work. I was ready. Yes, Annie.
Don't say anything.
All I wanted to do was go home, drink hot cocoa, watch Hocus Pocus 2, and put my pumpkins out. And unfortunately, I needed milk, and I did not have hot cocoa. But the rest of the plan went according to everything I wanted. It was an excellent Friday night, and I really enjoyed myself. And I think I'm going to watch it again on Halloween.
I gotta admit something to you guys.
You've never watched Hocus Pocus?
No, I am a lover of. I can sing you the song. Come,
I almost hung
little
up.
children.
I will
say what?
Yeah, you are Sarah for sure.
You are.
Boys.
I like to think that I am the dog girl. Kayla can be the redhead.
You're the dog. The what girl?
The girl with the brown
The
hair.
devil.
Oh.
The devil's wife. That dog girl.
No. The girl with the brown hair, I forget her name.
She's the one that rides the vacuums.
Yes!
Mary.
She makes dog sounds when people look at her. She goes, "Roar."
Yes, that one.
So I'm Winifred.
Wait. Oh no, I lost it. You ruined it. It's gone.
Well, no, that what I needed to admit to you guys is for years I have been seeing advertisements for them putting this movie out, right? For years I've been saying that they're going to put Hocus Pocus 2 out. When you guys said that you watched it the other day, that was actually the first time I realized that it was serious. I didn't realize they were actually doing it this year, so I've been ignoring all of the buzz about it. And then you guys said it, and I'm like,
yeah. Yeah. And it's really good. I thought it had good humor. I thought it had a nice ending. I thought it was everything you would want from it, honestly. I thought it was a really nice wrap up. It's a little less dark than the first one, though, so I think it was like more geared towards.
She's gonna take her headphones out.
Younger audience. Oh my goodness. I was also gonna say part of what I heard,
is it safe?
I was just gonna say the only criticism I heard was they wish she had sung the "Come Little Children" song more in the sequel. So
yeah, I can see that.
Because she only did it for a brief second, I think.
Okay, moving on, because Annie's about to have a freaking aneurysm.
I'm going to get a sign. I'm going to print a sign.
Listen, it's not my fault it's not my fault you literally didn't know they were making this movie.
But after I found out, I still haven't watched it. You guys have to understand, it takes me a minute to build up to watch something new. It takes me a while. I know. It takes me a while. I have to really get my mind into something new.
Yeah, and then guess what? You end up spoiling everything for yourself on all of Facebook and the socials and people talking about it on TikTok.
You guys get really descriptive on social media. It's not my fault. So,
interesting.
Kinsey, you're going to honor us tonight with a bedtime story. Is it going to be...
Kill? Did she say her kill? What was her kill? What was your kill?
The blind girl show, remember?
The wine girl.
Okay. Got it. The wine girl. Got it.
The whiny wine blind girl.
She got a lot of things wrong. Yes, this is going to be a really relaxing, soothing bedtime story.
I don't trust you. You told us what it was last week.
My psychology words of the day, because I was told to be more obvious with these, are sex offenders, claustrophobia, coercion, laws, and the word taphophobia, which is the fear of being buried alive.
Oh shit! I forgot.
Shit! Again, taphophobia. I don't know if I'm saying it.
Wait, can you spell that?
For real?
Yeah, is it TAPH, like ta-phobia?
Yeah.
TA. What's that come from? TA. That's interesting.
Oh my
Anybody
God,
else
you're
ever get
so
like really interested in the etymology of words?
not in any
No.
no.
Oh, taphos meaning grave for the people who actually do care about learning.
Interesting.
You're a liar. You don't think it's interesting.
You're right. I don't fucking care. Go on, Kinsey. It's your turn.
Graves.
You're up.
So here we are on this beautiful chilly fall evening in which it's actually probably 85 degrees
I
outside
was about
in
to say, I'm pretty
Tallahassee.
sure it's not chilly at all.
It's hot here.
It's 65 here. That's not bad.
It's the 40s in West Virginia.
And we are going to learn about taphophobia, the fear of being buried alive. In my story, self-titled and Google titled, Buried Alive. Dun, dun,
Oh, okay.
dun.
Buried alive. Sure. Writing that down.
Got it up here.
That's very original. Go ahead.
So I want us to start on, where should I start? We
Don't
are
make me
going to
meditate.
start on February 25th, 2005. My sources for today include Wikipedia, CNN, Chronicle Online, and get this, I really enjoyed this website title, Morbidology. That fits perfect for us.
Yes.
Morbid.
It's like they knew we were coming to them.
We should make a partnership.
Yeah, I'll call them.
So we are going to talk today about the murder of Jessica Lunfford. Jessica Lunfford was an average American 9-year-old girl. She lived with her paternal grandparents and her dad. She enjoyed
Can you
things
spell
such
her last name?
Lunsford, Lunsford.
I used to know Mariah Lunsford. Shout
I
out.
knew Lunsford as well.
Does she know who you are?
Oh, we're talking about like kindergarten?
Oh, okay, good.
Oh,
But yeah, probably.
Kindergarten. Yeah,
Yeah,
you guys
I have a
seem really
memorable
close.
last name, so.
Anyway, go ahead, Kins.
Wait. Oh, there it is. Jessica loved to sing, go to church, ride on her dad's motorcycle with him, and play with her stuffed animals. She wasn't sure what she wanted to be when she grew up, but she wanted to be either a fashion designer or a singer. Yes, I am also concerned about the 9-year-old riding on the motorcycle, but that's not the story here.
I was not.
At this point, when you start off with buried alive, I'm almost positive no one heard. No one heard. Let that 9-year-old live her best life. Go ahead.
Oh, I hope she did. So February 24th, I almost said that wrong. February 24th, 2005, Jessica was kidnapped by convicted sex offender John Couey. I think that's how you say it. Couey.
Spell it.
Couey. Couey.
Cooey. That's gross.
I think
He
it's going to
was-
be Coy.
Okay. Mr. Couey Coy.
Listen to her. She doesn't fucking know.
He was 46 and lived nearby. He had an
Annie, just
existing-
let it go.
Go ahead.
She was trying so hard to hold in her laughter. She almost choked on her freaking Ghirardelli chocolate.
I like it when y'all pay me attention when I'm trying to be funny and y'all take me seriously. It's great. Please proceed, Mr. Coy Coy.
Oh, wait. I should have included. This
welcome.
is not really necessarily important yet, but later, if you guys are interested, remind me to tell you about the mom. But she was from Homosassa, Florida. Never heard of that. But
You're from Florida, though.
Yep, never heard of it.
Don't you even
So-
know where you live?
I vaguely know where I live, but where is Homosassa? I don't know. Okay. So basically, Couey went into this house in the middle of the night on February 24th with the intent to burglarize it, right? And so part of the information that we're going to have in this story today is from what I understand, a recording of his confession, which is then translated. Annie, it is left.
I know.
Sorry,
I'm just gonna-
everyone. Annie decided to go to her house where she has menaces for dogs. And you're going to be able to hear everything they do.
No,
We
I'll,
apologize ahead of
I'll
time.
edit this one and I'll do the split track recording so I can take mine out sometimes.
Yeah, we just don't want you in it at all, actually. Can you just leave?
Just leave with the chocolates go.
Anyway,
So
go on.
when they arrested him, he gave a confession and they recorded it. And we'll get back to that later. But it is important to know this confession is like over 300 pages long when they
Holy shit.
transcribed it. So the information that I'm going to give today is mostly just pieces of information that I pieced together from various websites. Each website had a little bit different of a story from what he said or used different quotes. So I tried to do my best to piece those together into a coherent story here. But he basically said that he entered the home at 3 a.m. and woke her up. It seems like his original intent was not to actually kidnap Jessica. His intent was to burglarize the house, and he had been arrested multiple times before on both burglary charges as well as he was on the sex offender list before. But most of the previous charges that he had seemed to be revolved around burglary. So that was his primary history. It seemed like he had one sexual offense before this, and many arrests where he burglarized people. So he went into this house and um, they didn't report this in all of the stories, so I can't 100% say if he was high at the time, but it seemed like he had a drug and alcohol problem. So let me see if I can find, I think it was crack.
How old was she when she was kidnapped?
She was 9 years old.
We've already covered that part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So he was on crack cocaine and possibly drunk during the time where he had her in his custody. I don't know if he was high when he went into the house, though. That was unclear from the sources I got. I'm assuming he was. It seemed like he had a real drug problem, but he went into the house with the intent to burglarize and basically is like, I got caught up in the moment and decided to kidnap this small child who he described as looking like she's 6 years old in the confession. She's actually 9, but he thought she was even younger than that, which is even more disgusting. So he tells her, don't yell or nothing, which is a direct quote. And she doesn't. And she says, can I bring a stuffed animal? And he lets her bring her stuffed dolphin and proceeds to take her to his trailer home. So she lived in a trailer home with her grandparents and her dad. And he lived a couple of houses down with 4 other people, it seems. One was his sister. It seems like the rest were her boyfriend and their kids, but it was kind of unclear. But he lived in a house with a bunch of other people. So basically, he kept her hostage for 3 days. He raped her when he got her to the house. He then made her sleep in the bed with him. They also said at one point in time that
I'm just thinking of her like asking if she can take her stuffed animal. Like, it's like, ugh.
It's such an innocent thing to.
Yeah, that's so
note.
like I
Mhm.
can't get. That's so
Yeah.
sad. Keep going. I have chills just thinking about like the sick.
No, I know, and it was this is a pretty big story actually, which I'll tell you guys how it is like more of a well-known story when we get to that. But he did make her climb into his window so that the people he lived with didn't know she was there, raped her, made her sleep in the bed with him, and then he made her stay in a closet for the entire next day. And from what it said, he kept the closet closed, but there was a crack in the closet, so he kept the TV on with the news saying that she was reported missing, and then he went to work all day. And then made her pee in a cup in the closet, and then proceeded to rape her again, and ended up just basically keeping her for, I think it said 2 to 3 days. It was a little unclear. So,
and he's confessing all of this.
Yeah, he confessed all of this. So he then decided at this time that he didn't really have anything else to do with her. Let me see if I missed anything else. And he's gonna have to edit this out. So then 3 days later, after her original kidnapping, he told her he was going to take her home and that she needed to get into 2 plastic trash bags in order to be, I guess, inconspicuously transferred back to her house so that so that she could get back to her dad. And she had apparently been telling him during this time, my dad's looking for me, he's going to find me. But she also did not scream. She did not try to run away. She did not act out or anything. And so she gets into the bag, and he ties her wrist together with some sort of electrical cord, and then he proceeds to bury her in a hole while she's alive.
Where? Like in his backyard?
100 yards from her house.
What?
So,
100 yards from her house?
100 yards from her house. I think he lived like 200 yards away, so in between their houses, it seems. I'm not the best with distances, so
It's 300 feet.
Good job. It's
Thank
not
you.
far. You can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, during this time, her family had been like, she's afraid of the dark. Like, she's not that kind of kid. She didn't just run away. There's widespread searches going on. And they even said at one point in time, they went door to door talking to people, being like, do you know where this little girl went? And even talked to him. And supposedly, like, one of the biggest, like, disappointments with this case is, like, she was in the house during that time and they didn't go in his house.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah. I mean, like,
And how would they know?
Yeah, I know.
They tried to find her, but they didn't. And all of this ties back to the fact that his sister was basically helping make sure that he had the opportunity to do this. They claimed during this time that so his sister, let me take a step back. His sister's name was Dorothy Dixon. She's his half sister. She did at one point let the police search her place, but while he was still at the house, she was aware that he was a convicted sex offender and did not do anything. Like, she basically harbored a fugitive. He did not have an updated address on his thing, so when the police went door to door, they had no idea that he had already been arrested on sex charges because he had not updated any of his information when he moved in with her. So she and the other 3 people that lived there did ultimately also get like arrested because they were supposedly part of this case, but they successfully convinced everybody that they didn't know that she was in the house and they didn't know anything about this. And people are like, this is a trailer home, it's not that big, like how did you not know this little girl is
Right.
kidnapped in the trailer home? But
Mhm.
they ultimately, no charges were brought against them. They were arrested and let go. So he during this time, his sister bought him a bus ticket to Savannah, and he basically is like, I'm going to move to Georgia for work. Blah,
So
blah,
at this
blah,
point,
blah.
does his sister know that he did all this at all? Does she have any idea that he did anything?
No, Dorothy is still, I guess, to this day says that she never knew anything about this. She was just trying to support her brother, and she did not get charged with anything in
Right.
relation to this.
But like, she
But
didn't even know. Okay, I got it. I'm
But she
there.
bought him a bus ticket, and he went to Savannah, and he got arrested in Savannah for an outstanding warrant for cannabis possession, but then was literally released right after that because they were like, oh, that was a local warrant. Never mind, different state. So then this was during the 3 weeks where they're doing like a manhunt for this little girl, right? Like they're doing everything. They have America's Most Wanted segment. Like they are, they even said a former Atlanta Braves baseball pitcher had
Tim Hudson?
I don't know who that is. Maybe?
Kinsey, you don't have to answer her. That's the only one she knows.
No,
Oh,
he was
She just said,
a
am I
really
wrong?
good guy.
Mike Hampton.
You know that one, Annie?
Oh yeah, he was a former Braves pitcher
Yes,
in the
yes.
90s,
Good job.
early 2000s.
So,
She just made it.
Mike Hudson, his son was actually also in Jessica's class, so he offered like $100,000 reward as well, which was very well publicized and stuff. And they're like doing everything they can to try to find this little girl. And during this time, the guys that kidnapped and killed her, arrested in Savannah, let go. And then he makes his way to Augusta, and this is now on March 12th. And at the request of the Citrus County Sheriff's Office is brought in for questioning regarding her disappearance. And he's like, I don't know anything about that. I just moved here to get a job and blah, 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 blah. And they let him go again. So
Oh my God.
then 2 days later, his sister, who comes back into the picture, lets them finally search the trailer in the Homosassa area. And, you know, as I mentioned earlier, he had lived there with her boyfriend Matt, her daughter, and her son-in-law, as well as the 2-year-old grandson. Which, again, tying back to this, why did she let him live there with a 2-year-old grandson? This man is a convicted sex offender, but she did, and they found a bloodstained mattress and pillows in the closet, as well as a used pizza box that had her fingerprints and DNA on them.
Oh
So,
no.
you know, then they
Sweet
go.
baby.
I know. They go and they arrest him on March 17th for her murder and transport him to Citrus County Jail in Florida.
But they didn't find her yet, right?
No, he confessed to murdering her on March 18th and confessed to kidnapping and raping as well. And then during that time, he gets a 300-page confession.
So probably, I guess, a plea deal at that point?
I don't think so.
Just wanted to tell the story?
I don't know. I don't think it was a plea deal, and I'll tell you why when we get further along. But they had done all these wide-scale searches and stuff, and he finally tells them where the body is, and they find this poor little girl literally buried alive. The coroner basically said like she never would have lasted more than 2 minutes without enough air, so she just died from
asphyxiation.
Yes. And so this is the really sad part. So I'm sorry for this, but she also poked her 2 fingers through the bag so that she could try to breathe with air holes. And they found her still clutching the stuffed animal that he let her leave the house with in her arms.
No,
so
I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, it's really sad. So basically no one could find her until he told them where the body was. He confessed to all this. They have to transfer his case because the first time that they tried to try the case, the jury's basically like, this was like a wide known case at this point. The jury's like, I can't be non-partial to this. Sorry. Like I gotta bounce out. And so they had to transfer his case to a new county in order to try him. And then they basically were like, hey, you denied his request to ask for a lawyer, so all of his evidence is inadmissible.
Shut up.
Yeah. So, that all happened. Thankfully, it seems like he had been, I don't know if he had been like just talking or bragging or what, but he had made statements to investigators and jail guards about all of this. And he's in Miami at this point.
He's bragging.
And so,
He was right. He's just bragging.
Mm-hmm.
So that all happened, and they were able to use that evidence. So the jury spent 4 hours trying to decide, do we want life in prison for this guy, or do we want to kill him for the death penalty? His defense tried to be like, hey, his IQ is below normal. He cannot be tried. Of course, they're trying to do everything to get out of the death penalty, right? And I found this really interesting. Apparently, you have to have below an IQ of 70 in order to not be intelligent enough to be tried. And he had a 70.
They go by the GAF then. I wonder if that's still a thing.
I don't know.
Because that's like the DSM 3 or because we're in 5, so it's 3 or 4, and they stopped using that in the DSM 5. But that's, what is it, global something functioning
developmental delay?
Did they stop using it in the DSM 5?
Yeah, they don't use it anymore. But because it was above 70 is considered normal to high functioning, or I guess just normal functioning. But
and he was a 78, so
good. Trial
not
his ass.
The most intelligent guy.
Still. Ugh. Ew. Okay.
What?
Ugh.
So okay, so going back to okay, so that's the end of that story for him?
No. So that all happened. They spent 4 hours trying to do that. They were like, sorry, you guys froze, so sorry if there was a lag there. They said like he's not smart enough, he doesn't know what's going on. He was in fact smart enough. They used the evidence from him bragging. He pleaded non-guilty to all of this. He literally was like, I didn't do this, after a 300-page confession. And they found him guilty of all of them. And then it seems like that even after the 4 hours trying to decide death penalty or life in prison, they had to do a whole nother week of deliberation. And they recommended the death penalty. And, apparently there are reports that he had contemplated suicide and gone into the woods with the intent of hanging himself several times, waiting for the death penalty. And then this asshole died of anal cancer before they killed him.
This asshole died of anal cancer.
Yes. He died of natural causes, which I found was anal cancer before they finished his sentence.
Probably with medications to help ease pain and suffering.
Mm-hmm.
So while he was found guilty, he naturally died outside of the actual punishment that he was supposed to find. And as of now, I mentioned like we would get back to her mom. Her mom basically had not spoken to her in several years during this. And when the news came out about all of this, she basically had no relationship with her. There wasn't a lot of information about what that looked like
Her
for her after
mom
that.
didn't have a relationship with the girl who died?
Yeah, the 9-year-old. The mom and dad got divorced when she was 1. Her mom moved to Ohio and started a new family and had not seen her in 4 years since she got disappeared. The grandparents still live in the house that she got kidnapped from. This guy's dead, and then we will get into dad's part of the story. But I want to pause. Do you have any questions so far?
So she only lived for 2 minutes. That's a lot better than what I would have thought. I would have thought that you would have to essentially just wait until you use up all the oxygen. But I guess if it's different, like if you're getting buried with dirt on top of you versus buried in like a box, because the weight of the dirt would actually.
But he also made her get in the bags to transport her. So
Truth.
she's already using oxygen
Truth.
in the bags on the way there.
So she might have even.
Oh, I was going to say I forgot the most important part of the story. They found her body on my birthday. Creepy.
Oh no.
And
in July.
Yes, my birthday in July. That's actually March 19th. The hole itself was 2.5 by 2 feet and just basically very shallow and covered in leaves. And her finger that she stuck out of the bag was completely skeletonized when they found it, because it was like it was weeks after the fact at that point.
No.
She didn't fight him at all. She didn't try to get away. She just let it happen because she really trusted he was going to take her home to her dad.
Oh no, I hate this story.
So how long was it between the point that she got abducted and the point that she was buried?
3 days.
I would honestly just, which I don't know, I guess when you're 9, but my first thought was that she's trusting. So what had happened to her before then that she was so trusting of this person who had already hurt her multiple times that she actually believed that he would continue to help her? You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if there had been other
maybe
things.
there's a possibility of abuse before this.
I would wonder if there's not some kind of something that happened, even if it's just neglect.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to get into that in a second. We will cover that.
Please proceed.
Go ahead.
Kayla?
You got 4 minutes till your sushi is ready to go.
My sushi was ready at 9. I just don't want them to close on me.
What time are you going to make this?
They close at 10. So, okay. So what I thought that was the biggest takeaway from this story is they actually made some really interesting new laws called Jessica's Law in effect because of this case. Jessica's dad went on to be basically a child advocate person. He was in a movie in 2011 called
What's
Jesse's
his name?
Dad.
Do we know his name?
Yeah, his name is Mark Lunsford. He was in a movie called Jesse's Dad in 2011 and opened a place called Jesse's Place, which was the first Citrus County Child Advocacy Center. They opened in 2008, 3 years after her murder, and then even got so good and helped so many families they had to expand in 2014. People did turn against him. Wait, I'm going to back up. Jesse's Law came into effect, and it said that anyone who has sexually abused a child under 12 is convicted of a life felony and has a minimum sentence of 25 years in prison, alongside electronic monitoring of the person and lifetime probation. And since they enacted that in Florida, they did try to pass it in Congress and it didn't go through. And then they enabled that in 42 states since then. So basically, this law made it so that this cannot happen again. This law made it so that the guy that killed Jessica, never would have gotten out in the first place and been able to just fly under the radar and kill somebody like that, because he'd already been convicted of a sex crime.
Right.
He should have had to alert his neighbors that he lived there, and he should have had to update his address, and he did not do any of that and just flew under the radar and murdered this little girl.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Undetected.
So he did some really good things. I will say, people did turn against him, and they were like, first of all, you're greedy, like you're just trying to make money off of this at this point. Second off, like, how did you let this happen to your child? I do feel really bad for him because it shows the story was basically like he spent the night at his girlfriend's house the night before, and the grandparents just put her to bed and took care of her. And he got home at 6 a.m. to get ready for work, and her alarm was going off, so he went to go check on her. So he wasn't even there when this happened. He just went into his daughter's room with the expectation that she slept through her alarm to get her ready for school. She was in the care of her grandparents, who obviously loved her very much, and it just seems like a real tragedy. But people did blame him for the whole situation.
Yeah, and think of the guilt that he probably feels because he wasn't there.
Yeah.
He already feels like shit. Leave him alone.
Making
Yeah.
poor choices, there's a difference between causing the abuse and
But
death of
even
your child.
I still wouldn't even claim sleeping at your girlfriend's house while you
With grandparents who are taking care
I don't even.
right.
I wouldn't even consider that making a bad choice.
No,
That's
you're
just
right.
like that was just a choice that he made that
Yeah.
day, and it turned out to be the worst night of his life.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like, this guy probably knew that he left for the night, right? There's no way this guy wasn't already checking out this house. He
Oh,
wanted
he
to
was
rob it.
probably
Like,
watching it for sure.
he knew this guy's schedule. He knew what this family was up to. I mean, he's saying like, "Oh, I went in and then decided to abduct this little girl," but I'm like, hey, you. He also said at one point he had seen her playing earlier in her yard. So
Right. He
I
only
don't
went
know
in
how
the
much
house.
of his story is believable.
He only went in the house when
Go
there
ahead.
were elderly people and a child. He waited
Yeah,
for the
Vulnerable.
yeah.
vulnerable to be alone.
So he is a menace, but I mean, honestly, like, I think like some real good came out of this to try to protect children in the future, and that's why I thought that this was an interesting story. First and foremost, I think the idea of being buried alive is a real psychological phenomenon that makes people really like want to like gasp for air, because it's like you feel this pressure when you think about being buried alive, but also just like the laws and legislations that can protect our vulnerable populations, which is an important part for us as mandated reporters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what, because I watched a TikTok the other day about this female who ended up being an international change. I don't know, Kayla, did you see the video about a woman who she got sexually assaulted? Oh gosh, I think during college. I think she went to Harvard, if I'm not mistaken, but it was one of the Ivy Leagues.
Oh, I think I
And
remember this story. Yep.
yeah, and basically they destroyed the evidence from the rape kit that they did, so that I
Mm-hmm.
think maybe he could not be convicted is what it came down to. I don't really know what the results of that were, but so they destroyed the results or the evidence from it after like a month, and that ended up inspiring her to change the law that they could even do that, because then she had no case and no standing. So that's what I mean. Heck, it would be interesting to go through different laws and find out why they're created, the stories behind them. The worst part is the sad stories about why they're created, because it's somebody that
Yeah.
did not have that law for them.
There's a lot of sad stories, and I think a lot of good press has come out of stuff like this, and being like aware, and like this stranger danger thing. They had the TV episodes about it. It was obviously really nationally cast and really had some outrage in the community. And they also even did an FBI Criminal Pursuits episode in 2013 on it. It is called Lurking Menace.
Mm.
So as it is a tragedy, and I in no way think like there is any way to make it any better, but I am glad to know that that law is in place now, because I think keeping track of people that could potentially be dangerous is an important piece of our safety and our peace of mind.
Yeah. The only thing that would make me happy about the story is if he did not die of natural causes.
Right.
However, there really is no way. There's nothing that you can do at that point to make it right, to make it better. I mean, there's no punishment, no pain that you could cause him to make that equal.
Yeah.
Right. And
Well,
that's why I think they spent so long debating on it, right? Because they were like, do we want life in prison, or do we want to like put this guy like at the electric chair? It's a hard decision to make, because if you get to that point, and going back to the Dahmer thing, right? If you get to the point where like they want to give you the chair, usually it's because you did something completely unspeakable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I do think that I mean the only God, it's like saying at least, right? But the only blessing that you could see would be that she did, suffocate in a sense. I mean, because you figure like when you think about how when people suffocate, it's carbon dioxide, right? So their brains are actually not getting oxygen, but they're generally getting carbon dioxide, so that they're kind of falling asleep. So I would hope that she's at least kind of falling asleep for those 2 minutes versus very aware of what's going on, very conscious.
In my
Takes me back
head,
to
I only picture panic.
yeah.
And that's the only thing I can like imagine is just like pure panic.
I remember watching an episode of, oh gosh, I don't know, Law and Order or NCIS or something, where the pretty boy guy gets buried alive, or he doesn't die, he gets saved, but I still remember that, and I didn't even watch the show, and that's just how disturbing it was. It was like for a couple
literally
episodes.
one of my deepest fears. That's why I was like, we got to talk about this new word I learned, the fear of being buried alive.
Do you know that
Taphophobia.
phobias are explained by classical conditioning?
Oh.
Little interesting tidbit for you. Classical conditioning.
Can you tell us more?
Okay. Do you actually want to know more, or do you just want to roast me with what I'm about to say?
Both.
Classical conditioning is where you take two previously unassociated stimuli and you repeatedly pair them to the point that they both produce that response.
Mm-hmm. But
Pavlov's dog.
why? Yeah, but why are phobias like that you don't encounter?
Yes, that's the interesting thing. So, behavioral psychologists will say that it is the exception to the rule of repeated exposure. So that we kind of grow up. The theory behind it is that we grow up being repeatedly exposed to the idea that it should cause fear. So think about bugs. Like we're all scared of bugs. Why are we scared of bugs? They don't actually hurt us. Well, it's because we've been repeatedly exposed to the fact that bug causes fear.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I
ergo,
feel
we
like
should
there's
be,
some
because
sort of like innate like fear of certain things as well.
I honestly look at it like this. I am buried alive. I have no control. Like, unless you give me a freaking shovel and tell me that I can dig my way out, which honestly is pretty impossible with a certain amount of weight of dirt on you, right? It is a complete lack of control. I would explain it not from the behavioral psychology standpoint. I would explain it more from like a modern day perspective blended and say that it's probably just anxiousness of lack of control. Like you can do nothing with that and you were pretty aware that you're going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean, the conceptualization for eating disorders is the same. Eating disorders are a way to control your environment when you cannot control anything else.
Yeah.
And I would say the same for self-harm and the same for a lot of other things that you could do. And when you are feeling out of control, you will do anything you can to try to find control.
Mm-hmm.
And in a situation where there is nothing you can do, panic. I mean, I don't know what else you would do.
Yeah.
Well, we want to thank you again, Kinsey, for a terribly uncomfortable story that we all have to go to sleep on.
Okay, listen. Nothing is worse than the Night Stalker story that Kayla.
That was
Hat
not the Night
Man.
Stalker.
The Hat Man. Oh, nightmares.
I don't know. Comparing the Hat Man to your toxic love life was actually much better than how we started with it.
It turned into something lighthearted. Yeah. And some
Yeah, the Hat
well-meaning
Man
inside
wasn't
joke.
scary. Right, after the Hat Man was the man who was going to swerve you, it just was different.
He's no
This
longer
is
scary. He's just another one of my boyfriends.
truly fucked up, Kinsey. Thank you for your time.
Another beautiful story by Kinsey.
So let's see. Next week, Kayla, we're back into our normal rhythm.
So it's me.
You go. It's you, and then I, and then Kenzie again.
Yes.
Right?
Maybe we'll choose something lighthearted.
I feel like
I don't
you
know,
could.
Kayla. I bet that Kayla will not.
I already have my next episode planned out.
Is it lighthearted?
No.
Mine is not either, but it is perfect. Getting closer to, let's see. So in 2 weeks, it's going to be the 18th. So it'll be perfect.
Annie, your episode will be episode 8 or 9?
That's what I needed the spreadsheet for earlier.
Okay, well, either way,
sing
you'll be
story.
releasing close to Christmas, so I don't know if that helps.
Oh, Merry Christmas!
So I can do. You know what? I can make one a Christmas
See, that's
story.
why whenever okay. Thank you for listening to Mentally Morbid. Ayo.
Bye!